You see all those ads for power banks and solar generators, but they're really expensive. If they're not really expensive, they just don't work worth a darn. Don't have enough grunt to push through what you want to push it through. So we're gonna make a 4 kilowatt hour 12 volt pack for less than, a lot less than, like a quarter of what you can buy one for. All in. I'll calculate how much I have in. I don't like measuring stuff, so I avoid it whenever possible. So, jeez, oh Pete. Jeepers creepers. So I need to get my cells out, them lined up so I can use them to space out. I need to make my cuts. I think I already know, but there we go. First order of business is going to be get that thing ripped down to size. By that thing I mean this. I'm using offcuts, the same material I'm making this thing out of. And I'm just going to mark right there. Then I set my table saw up to make that cut. Before I do that, I'm way ahead of myself, I need to cut the groove. I want to go about to there. Then I need to set my fence to roughly where I want the groove. Right about there should do it. Try to get you in here so you can see what I'm doing. Test fit the piece. Got just enough looseness to it. And good to go. Now I can set this up on the line. It can be a little on the big side, I can trim it later. What it cannot be is a little on the small side, because that makes for lots and lots of sanding. That should do it. No guesses for what I forgot to do. I checked the fit, and it does, so I can make another cut. Got my two sides here. I need my third and fourth side. The floor is not level. Got my line, set up my saw, make a cut. What's that? Test fit it and put it together. That's good enough. Glue it together. I'll drill some holes, but first I'm going to mark off where my pieces go. That way I know I can get dead center. It's not going to take very many. Countersink to make it pretty. Ah, it didn't go all the way through. Son of a gun. Oh well. Trying to think as far ahead as I can here. I know the bottom goes in here. I'm going to make a couple more holes. Secure these little guys. So that can butt up there, top of the cell. Just going to draw a line there. And a line denoting the other side where I can go and where I can't. Go, no go, if you will. So I cannot absolutely, especially after this thing's built, drill below this line. So I'm going to drill that, drill a couple holes there for a hold down. One more hole, I think. One more. Nothing like the smell of burning plywood in the morning. Changed my mind. 4 more holes. Point, I think I got all my holes drilled and I can start assembling this. That's what pants are for, right? I do have to make one more cut. Maybe 2. Nope, just 1. Play my cards right. Just 1 more cut. I went ahead and put the cells in, and we'll talk about the orientation later, but saw isn't precise. The cuts aren't 100% 90 degrees straight up and down, so it was leaning in very badly, and if I put it together I would have struggled the whole time. So this plays it out where it needs to be. Had it bent the other way, it would have been a different story. I'm going to use less glue on this joint because I don't want it oozing out to the inside. Will it fit? Will it fit? Of course it fit. I dry fit it. The last of these screws. There we go. A couple more screws and we're done. made a template, traced out the holes for the feet for the BMS. This is the bit that's going to hold the batteries down. I cut that off camera because I forgot to hit record. And pretty much all I did was drop it in place here and mark out where the cells were. And it just so happens that the holes for the BMS mounting don't interfere with any of the mounting. Even though I was going to raise it up to there, still didn't want it interfering. So now you saw me cut a couple strips. I'm just going to zip these on here like so. I'm just going to glue them and tack them with some nails. I know they don't go all the way through, but I don't want any metal sticking through. Watch it go tang on my table saw. That way the nail heads are recessed and they're not going to interfere, and it doesn't go through. Clean that up. And this gets nailed in last. Now this bit's important, so pay attention, because these are MB31 EVE cells, or EVE, or EVE, 314 amp hours. They'll put out 300 amps continuous until they catch on fire or discharge. This pack right here is muy dangerous, so if you don't know what you're doing, stop. Go watch another video. Think about doing something else. Think about buying your own. If you're not 100% confident, if you panic, if you freak out or are prone to these things, don't do it. If you've ever squealed when something happened unexpectedly and then ran away or didn't know what to do, wrong thing to be dinking with here. So I've got all 4 of them in this box now, and I've picked out where I want to be. That's going to be my negative. That's going to be my positive. This is a series, so it's going to go this way in a series. Each one of these 3.2 volts is going to output 12-ish volts. If we were to do this in parallel, we do positive to positive, positive to positive, and it'd output 3 volts. And you'd have to link up 4 of these to make your 12 volts. So I know where that needs to be. I've figured out what needs to go where. I'm going to do one at a time. I don't have an electrician's screwdriver, but I took some of that stretchy tape and put on there. So if I drop this, which I'm prone to do, hadn't done in a while, but not when it really mattered, but it's the first time for everything, and I don't want this to be the first time. Just loosely putting these on here. Now from there to there to there to there to here. I'm always hesitant putting these down because they freak me out. Last connection, and this pack is effectively live. It's 4 kilowatt hours of energy, or 4 kilowatts. I don't know what the appropriate term is. I'm not an electrician. There's instructions that come with the BMS, but they can be a bit hazy. There's the tiny little instructions. It wants the first wire to go to your first string here. It's calling the negative terminal the first string for some reason. Who cares? And then we're just going to go on down the line. We're going to pick our second one. Go to our second string here. No, still the first string. Still the first string. We'll come over here to our third wire. This guy sampled. Now we're going to sample the next cell. So that's the third wire. We're going to come here to our fourth wire, to this cell here. Get back here. Now this is where, if this is a 4S BMS, I'm using a 4S through 8S. Now that S means series. This is a series BMS. And since this is a 4S through 8S, it's not really clear in the instructions. It says something along the lines of, ensure the last power wire is also connected to the main positive terminal. So that's, normally you just use this wire and skip all those and that one, but this one wants them both. and we're just going to connect it to our last out. Some of these destructions kind of fuzzy. It's okay though. Yeah, I just realized I can't get at that. Loosen everybody up. Just need to secure this guy. It's got little bitty holes and it didn't come with hardware. Fortunately, I have these wood screws. They're not self-tappers. I'm gonna put enough jam on them. They'll tap just fine. Now I can put this sucker in. And according to the diagram, B minus goes to B minus over here. Well, I took into account the bus bars when putting that in there. What I didn't take into account was enough bus bar. So I had to get in there and cut that much off each side. Now she fits. I've got this finagled in place. It's not secured down yet, but it's in there and everything's hooked up. The wires routed roughly where I want them, and this should beep when I plug it in, or maybe not. I may have to hit it with some voltage, and I need to hit it with some voltage. That's okay, and all that can more or less stay just like that. I think if I hit it with my charger it'll pop, but now I need to make a lid for it. I was hoping this board would be big enough, but it lacks about an inch. Que sera, sera. What is. Use this piece. Doesn't have a lot of use left in it because I cut that. Can't do anything with that now. So I'm going to do what I did for the rest of the thing. I'm just going to not bother measuring. And I'm just going to cut those lines. Just like all the other cuts. We'll be right back. Caught myself on a screw. Ain't that something? All the stuff you can do on YouTube, they will squeal at the sight of blood. So I gotta clean that up. There we go. There's my lid. Anyway, drill a bunch of holes just like before, so I know where I can and can't drill. I'm just gonna go ahead and lay out some lines. Get out of here, lay out. I want to avoid some stuff, so I'm just going to do this. Not advised, but I'm going to do it. And countersink. Made up a couple cables. Sawdust everywhere. Still hot. I picked up some of these. These are marked polarity here. And that little thing hooks on a little spring down in there. Hope if I put it in there right. Spring is in that end. Red's positive, right? There we go. They don't want to be coming back out either. And this guy, dog's going nuts. Just need to make sure they weren't after my neighbor's ducks. All right, positive goes to positive, negative goes to pack negative. We'll do some tests with the old meter. Make sure we get the actual voltage we're supposed to have. I know it's not going to come out here because the BMS isn't on and it bleeds down the voltage. So we're going to come over here to pack negative, positive. There we go. And just for a laugh, that's 13 and a bit volts, by the way. Yep, bleeding down because the BMS isn't on. So now I want to trick the BMS into coming on. I have a cheat I can use, 16 volts at a very, very low amp. Basically, I'm just gonna give this guy some juice. And BMS is awake. Blinking light. Yep, tricked it. So now this thing here, full volts, now that the BMS is on. So this thing is ready to button up and ready to be used. First things first, pre-drill this hole. Have one screw left. That is it. It's all buttoned up. Work, do just about whatever I want. And this has been a 12 volt homemade lithium iron phosphate 12 volt battery that you can do yourself for cheaper than you could buy one by a not insignificant margin. The cells are $356 shipped to my door. Good luck getting that now because, yeah, you know they're Chinese. The BMS was 120, so that right there is 470, 480, let's call it. Let's call it 500, what the heck, 500 bucks. The inverter cost me $189, and all the miscellaneous cables, let's say cables, tools, and everything cost me about 50 bucks. So 500 plus a $190, 690 plus 50 bucks. So 740, let's call it $750 to build this yourself, or you can buy one for $3 grand. It's up to you. Do what you want. That's it for today. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.